The man simply lit a photograph on fire. But what happened next was terrifying. The woman standing next to him suddenly had her arm burst into flames as well.
What the?
Everyone panicked instantly and tried to put it out, but nothing worked. Even fire extinguishers had no effect. In the chaos, the woman noticed the burning photo nearby and rushed to put it out. And just like that, the moment the photo was extinguished, the flames on her friend's body slowly disappeared too. But what made it even more disturbing was this: the photo seemed almost alive. As if it had a mind of its own, it slowly restored itself back to its original state. And all of this traces back to an old camera, one that doesn't just take pictures, but captures people's death portraits. Bird happened to walk into an antique shop that day and stumbled upon a Polaroid camera made back in 1972. On the back of it was the name of its original owner engraved into the metal. Curious whether it still worked after all these years, Bird decided to test it out and snapped a photo of the shop owner.
Smile.
After that, Bird took the camera home. Excited, she immediately tried to take a picture of her dog, but the usually calm dog suddenly freaked out, terrified of the camera, backing away in fear. Just as she was about to press the shutter, her best friend Casey showed up and interrupted her. Casey had come to invite Bird to a party that night, so later they headed out together. Bird also brought the Polaroid with her. On the way there, she checked the photo she had taken of the antique shop owner and something was wrong. Besides the owner, there was also a faint, shadowy figure appearing in the picture. But Bird didn't think much of it at the time. Meanwhile, back at the antique shop, the owner was examining the photos that were about to be sold. As he looked at one of them, he suddenly noticed something disturbing behind the display screen. A human silhouette was faintly reflected. A sense of dread hit him immediately. He grabbed a hammer from nearby and slowly walked toward the screen. But when he checked behind the screen, there was nothing there. The shop owner turned around to inspect the projector, completely unaware that a figure had already appeared right behind him. And then came a low, inhuman growl echoing through the room. Meanwhile, Bird had arrived at the party. Devin and Casey grabbed a phone, trying to get everyone together for a group photo. But Bird was too shy and stepped out of the shot, refusing to join in. Instead, she suggested using her Polaroid to take a picture for everyone.
4, 3, 2, 1.
The moment the shutter clicked, Sarah suddenly stepped into frame, crashing the shot and ending up in the group photo. Bird noticed something strange for a split second, but when the image developed, the cheerful picture seemed normal enough to calm her doubts. At the same time, Avery became fascinated by the Polaroid camera. She kept examining the rare device, clearly intrigued, and then impulsively snapped a photo of herself. Just then, sirens echoed outside. Everyone rushed downstairs to see what was happening. It was the police investigating the death of the antique shop owner. And since Bird was the last person seen with him alive, she immediately became the prime suspect. She was taken to the station for questioning. When she heard the news of his death, Bird was in complete disbelief. Just a few hours earlier, he had seemed perfectly fine. How could he possibly be dead in an instant like that? But without any solid evidence, the police had no choice but to let her go for now. That night, Bird returned home feeling increasingly uneasy. She pulled out the photo she had taken of the shop owner and started going through it again, but something was off. The shadow that had clearly appeared earlier was now completely gone, as if it had never been there. Then she checked the party photo, and the shadow had somehow moved, now standing right behind Avery. But if that was the case, why was there no shadow in the group photo with all four of them? Meanwhile, Avery got back home and was immediately startled by a figure she saw in the dark. But it turned out to be just a mannequin skeleton from her house. She brushed it off, moved it closer to the window, and headed down to the basement to clean up some clutter. That's when she heard footsteps above her head. Something was moving on the floor upstairs. Feeling uneasy, she rushed back to the living room to check, but the house was empty. What she didn't notice was that the mannequin had already been moved. And now, instead of 2 shadows, there were 3. Panic set in. Avery suddenly got knocked to the ground. She struggled back up and stared ahead, but as the lights flickered violently, there was nothing there at all.